The Alu-cab 270-degree shadow awning has a reputation for being one of the best 270-degree awnings that you can buy anywhere in the world today. Alu-cab also provides a world-class wall kit that attaches to the awning and can be purchased separately and at any time. Now, the wall kit installation requires the addition of a couple of legs, and while this could not be easier, that does not mean there won't be any surprises. In this video, I'll show you what tools you need, what skills you need, and exactly how to install these legs. And if my experience was indicative of yours, I will show you how to get around at least one show-stopping surprise. I'm Scruffy Golden. Let me show you how to do this. When we say that we are installing the shadow awning wall kit, what we are really saying is that we are installing the additional legs to the awning arms needed to support the addition of these walls. The Alu-cab Shadow-Awning made its name by being one of the first awnings that don't require legs. In fact, one of the reasons this awning deploys and is put away so incredibly fast and easily is that you usually don't deploy any legs or stake it down with any cords. Now, the basic awning does come with one leg that you can use in case of heavy winds, but usually this leg stays neatly tucked away against the middle arm when it's not in use. Each of the three awning arms also have a strap that can be pegged down to provide additional support in inclement weather, but those usually stay tucked away as well. Now, this configuration changes when you add walls to the awning. Not only do these heavy-duty walls create additional weight, but the additional legs are also needed to provide shape to the walls. Fortunately, installing these additional legs is fast and easy. So let's take a look at what you need for this project. To install the legs, you will obviously need the legs themselves. You will need some U-clips, which hold the leg tightly against the arm when not in use. And you will need the hardware that came with the wall kit, consisting of some button head screws, washers, and nylock nuts. To work with those, you will need a 10mm wrench or spanner and a 4mm Allen wrench. Amongst the hardware that came with the kit are several 4.8 by 10 rivets. The rivets are what hold the clips to the awning arms. If you've never installed a rivet before, you'll be surprised how easy it is. It does require a rivet gun, however, which is not something everyone has in their toolbox, so I will put a link to a rivet gun in the description below. They cost about $30, and you might be surprised how often you use it once you have one at your fingertips. Also shown here is a measuring tape, which I ended up not needing. What is not shown here, but that I did end up needing, is a drill with a 5mm or 13/64" drill bit. Surprisingly, the pre-drilled holes for the clips were not big enough for the rivets supplied by Alu-cab, so I needed to widen them ever so little. Now, theoretically, you shouldn't need the drill at all because the rivet holes should be large enough to fit the rivets made for them. But that wasn't the case in my situation, so I'm just letting you know in case you have the same situation. To install a leg, insert the thick, round end into the bracket of one of the awning arms as shown here. As you do, take a second to consider which side of the pole you want the pole clamp to be on. Now, the pole clamp is the screw that keeps the telescoping arm from going in and out. Most right-handed people will operate the clamp with their right hand and will swing the pole with their left hand. Position the clamp wherever it's comfortable for you, but most people will prefer to put the clamp on the right side of the pole as they face away from the vehicle, as I've shown here. If your awning has been in place for a while, the bolt holding the strap in place may have compressed the sides of the bracket, making it difficult to insert the leg. If so, you may need to widen it a little bit. Regardless, don't be afraid to muscle that leg into place. Now line up the holes of the leg with the holes in the bracket. Put a washer on one side of the button head screws and thread it through the hole. Secure the whole thing with a washer and nylock nut on the other side. Use the wrench and Allen key to tighten everything enough for the leg to swing freely with a little bit of resistance. Next, you want to install the clips that hold the legs in place against the awning arms when they are folded and stored. These will be riveted into place. Now, most of us are familiar with rivets, but may not have installed one. They're super easy to install once you've done it once, so let's pause to examine them for a second. The rivet itself has a short, thicker end and a long, slender end. The short, thicker end is called the rivet pin and is the end you will be placing into the hole. The long, slender end is called a mandrel and will be the end that goes into the rivet gun. With that done, let's install a rivet. Find the pair of holes in the middle of the awning arm and test fit the rivets to ensure they fit properly. The rivets should fit snugly, but they should also go in easily. In my case, the holes were not quite big enough. Since the supplied rivets were 4.8 millimeters wide, I used a drill with a 5 millimeter drill bit to widen the holes ever so slightly. A 13/64 inch drill bit would have also worked. To install a rivet, put the rivet into the hole as far as it will go. Place the rivet gun over the mandrel end of the rivet and insert it as far as it will go. With the gun snugly against the rivet, begin squeezing the handles together. Allow the handles to go as far apart as possible each time you release them. Now, I have fairly broad hands, but I've never been able to operate a rivet gun one-handed. I'm not sure why the handles need to go so far apart, but it always requires two hands for me to do this. With each squeeze of the handle, the rivet pulls the clip and the awning arm together by expanding the head on the other side of the rivet. When it is as far as it can go, the stem of the rivet will break off with a pop, which is why these are called pop rivets. 2 or 3 good squeezes is usually what it takes. If done correctly, the stem will break off inside the rivet and you will be left with a clean button. If you do not keep the gun snug against the material as you are squeezing it, the stem could break off in the wrong spot. It's easy to drill out the stem and start over if you make a mistake. Just bear in mind you may need to get some more rivets. Finish by installing a rivet in each of the remaining holes for both clips. That's it. You're done. You're now ready to use the wall awning kit. Now, that is a big enough subject for its own video, so for now, let me show you how to close the awning with the new legs in place. To close the awning, start by folding and storing each strap. The way I do this is I fold the strap roughly in half, with the loose end of the strap about a bracket's distance from the end. I crease that fold, and then I fold the strap in half again. I take the folded end and I tuck the strap into the cavity at the end of the awning arm as far as it will go. Once this is done, fold each leg against the awning arm. Slide the foot into the clip and tighten the clamp to ensure the leg stays into place. Release the tension on the awning, don't forget to drop the tent pole when you do, and push everything back against your vehicle. As you roll the awning up into the bag, note that there are Velcro strips along the edges of the awning. These are the strips that will hold the wall kit in place when you install the wall themselves. Try to keep them flat as you roll the awning up, because the walls are easier to Velcro into place if there are no creases folded into the Velcro. Tighten the Velcro straps and zip the bag closed. Congratulations, you did it, and it wasn't that bad, was it? The walls for this awning are very robust and just as heavy duty as the awning itself. I mean, you've got to see them to believe it. In fact, I always feel like I'm on safari with Teddy Roosevelt when the walls are in place. They are that yurt-like. In my next video, I will show you how to set up the walls and how to take them down, how to fold them, and how to store them away. When you see all that done, I think you will agree it's not completely obvious, and there are definitely some things to consider throughout the process, especially at the edges where the walls meet the trailer or vehicle. Along the way, I will show you some tips I've developed for making the setup easier and more consistent. So hopefully I will see you there. If you learned something new in this video, for instance, maybe you found the rivet discussion useful. If so, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you like to be notified of more content like this. In the meantime, live without compromise, and I'll see you out there.